Good morning, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to tune in to this webinar. This short program was created to provide useful information on FuzeHub's upcoming commercialization competition. Before we get started, there are a few housekeeping issues. We do have everyone muted for this webinar, so we will be taking questions through submission and GoToWebinar. Please send questions using the dialog box at the right side of the screen, and we will do our best to answer as many questions as possible. We are recording today's webinar and we'll post it on both our website and the online platform. So if you do experience any technical difficulties, you can resume watching the webinar at a later date. So let's go ahead and get started. Today's presenters are myself, Julianne Clothier. I am the Manager of Industry Engagement here at FuzeHub, and I oversee the Jeff Lawrence Innovation Fund. Joining me today is Rich Honan, Partner and Head of the Venture Capital Team at Phillips Lytle LLP. Rich has worked extensively with startup companies from the Capital Region and beyond, and has engaged all finalist companies and helped secure the investment transactions in the last two commercialization competitions. In this webinar, Rich will provide key insights into one of the most important aspects of FuzeHub's funding award, our investment vehicle, the Simple Agreement for Future Equity, otherwise referred to as a SAFE. Today's webinar focuses on a few important topics. The webinar will cover a brief introduction to FuzeHub and the New York MEP system, review the intent of the competition and competition timeline, discuss eligibility concerns and important programmatic updates for 2019, explain the award process, provide details on the current investment vehicle, and finally, a short Q&A session. The goal is to try to wrap up this webinar within a half an hour. So if you are new to the FuzeHub network, FuzeHub is the New York Manufacturing Extension Partnership Center, known as New York MEP. In essence, we are here to help New York State manufacturers grow. We are one of 11 New York MEP centers located in the economic development regions throughout New York. We help manufacturers in a variety of ways, including using technology, resources, and industry-leading expertise to assist manufacturers, connecting companies with resources in our vast network, and then tracking and monitoring progress made through these connections, coordinating statewide projects and other strategic initiatives, including administering the Jeff Lawrence Innovation Fund. To learn more about the New York MEP system and your local MEP center, please visit www.newyyorkmep.org. FuzeHub administers the Jeff Lawrence Innovation Fund, which supports a set of activities designed to spur technology development and commercialization across New York State. The competition is one of three tracks of the fund and has two distinct parts. The application period, which opened July 15th and closes in 1 week, next Wednesday, August 14th, promptly at 4 p.m. There is no leeway for late submissions, as the platform will shut down automatically at 4. Applications will go through a due diligence process, and eligible applicants may advance to the semifinal round. Semifinalists will be notified in September and invited to participate in remote pitch presentations. These 5 to 10 minute presentations will include a timed Q&A session with a panel of judges. The 2-day event in Albany, the top 15 to 20 semifinalists will be considered finalists and invited to pitch to a panel of judges at the commercialization competition on November 19th. The competition will be held this year again in Albany at the Albany Capitol Center. There is a welcome reception, panel discussions, and networking on Monday the 18th. Finalist companies will receive complimentary event passes and a night of lodging. Details regarding the event and expectations of the participating companies will be provided to finalists at a later date. All awards will be announced in person during a brief award ceremony at the end of the pitch sessions. The competition overview. This competition is intended to help small to medium-sized manufacturing and technology companies strengthen their go-to-market strategies as they move from new product, new production method to marketplace. Companies must be able to demonstrate or explain their tangible working prototype during their pitch event. To review the full competition guidelines, to see the FAQ document, and to see the application questions before creating an account on the platform, you can visit the competition website at www.fuzehub.com/commercialization-competition/. These documents are available for download, and I strongly encourage that applicants take time to review the requirements before the deadline. The commercialization competition is open to for-profit companies only. Applicants must meet several eligibility requirements. First, the company must be formally established and be registered to do business in New York State at time of application. Applicant companies must provide supporting documentation as listed in the guidelines. Second, the company must be pre-revenue, less than $100,000 in total revenue for the company. Please note, grants are excluded from this amount. And third, as mentioned before, applicant companies must be able to demonstrate a working prototype at time of application. If you meet these requirements, the next step is to work on your application. You must start by registering for a SurveyMonkey account. If you have not started an application, you can find the link at the competition website, then click on the Apply to Pitch button. Upload the documentation to show that the company is formally established and registered to do business in New York State. Each applicant must provide an electronic copy of their certificate of incorporation or certificate of formation. If the certificates reveal that the applicant company is incorporated outside of New York State, the company must provide further documentation that the company is registered to do business here in New York State. Upload the photo or video to evidence your working prototype. For proposals where a physical prototype cannot be produced, for example, cellular or biomolecular processes, the applicant must upload supporting material to document that the product or technology has been proven. You must complete the budget section in the online platform. There is a designated area for you to input data to document the $50,000 in FuzeHub funding. Instructions are provided, and if you are awarded the grand prize in the competition, we will discuss a new budget with you. Then you must submit your application online, and you will receive a confirmation email. So what are some of the updates for 2019? Returning applicants, you may have noticed that we have a new system, SurveyMonkey Apply. Competition updates will be generated through this system and emailed to the contact email that you have provided. Applicants need a working prototype by close of business next Wednesday, August 14th. Please note that software products and software services are not eligible for this competition. Projects that focus on mobile applications, big data, digital gaming programs, artificial intelligence, AI projects, and SaaS platform services are not eligible. Proof of concept projects are not eligible, and neither are new product launch for any established company with total revenue in excess of $100,000. If you have a combined hardware-software project, it may not be a fit for this program, but I welcome you to contact me and we can have a discussion about eligibility. Finalist companies will pitch on Tuesday, November 19th in one of 3 sessions. On pitch day, 6 companies will be selected as competition winners. Each will receive $50,000. Additionally, judges will select one of the 6 winners to receive an additional $100,000. So one company will walk away with a $150,000 award. If you have won any FuzeHub funds in prior programs, the competition funds should be used for a unique new scope of work. The company selected to receive the grand prize will be awarded contingent upon FuzeHub approval of a $150,000 budget. This is an excellent segue into our next item on the agenda, the investment vehicle. Here to talk more is Rich Honan, partner and lead of the venture capital team at Phillips Lytle LLP. Welcome, Rich.
Thank you, appreciate it. So the investment vehicle that we have chosen is a simple agreement for future equity. That is an investment vehicle that we have learned that many of our companies over the past have been familiar with. They're also familiar with convertible notes. Simply, a SAFE is a convertible note without the fiction of the repayment. The amount of the award will equal the amount of the investment by FuzeHub. And at the time that that award is given, FuzeHub is neither an equity holder nor a creditor of the company. Once the company does a subsequent round of financing, a large financing, which is defined as a $500,000 preferred stock or preferred membership unit financing, then the SAFE will convert into that equity at whatever terms and whatever price have been determined between the company and its later investors. There's 2 exceptions to that. One of them is that the SAFE converts at a 15% discount again, very standard within the industry. And there is a valuation cap of $4 million, meaning that if you get a valuation above that, FuzeHub's conversion will be capped at a $4 million valuation. The terms of the safe have been chosen to be very consistent with safes that we've seen across the country, both East and West Coast, by accelerators and incubators, as well as other competitions throughout the country. And so they should be very familiar to your investors. And one of the reasons it was chosen is the impact on future investment should be very slight. The idea is to keep both your balance sheet and your cap table as pristine as possible. If you do the math, even at a $4 million valuation, a $50,000 award, even with the discount, equals something like less than 1.5% of your equity, and that is designed to not hinder any future investment. Understand that agreeing to the terms of the safe is a condition of receiving any competition award funds. And to that end, there's a template safe on the FuzeHub competition site. It has been updated as recently as today. If you have any questions about it, first of all, we would tell you to read it, go over it with any advisors that you want, and we are happy to answer any questions up to and including the day of the competition, and as well as have conversations with you or your advisors to explain anything else you might want to know.
All right, I guess we can move on to the Q&A session. Okay, I think we have a question for Rich. Would FuzeHub or Jeff Lawrence Innovation Fund entertain the idea of a no cap, no discount safe in place of the template safe for the competition?
No, we can't do that, and that's why we have made it simple for you, one, to review the terms of the safe, but more importantly, if you have any questions prior to the competition, please do call us. We're happy to have that conversation so you can make your decision in an informed way. But the terms of the safe are going to be what they are on the website.
Okay, I guess I will take the next question. I was selected as a finalist, but may not be able to attend the pitch session. Am I ineligible? So there's a couple of caveats to this. So a representative of the company must be available to pitch on Tuesday, November 19th. If no one is available, then you may have to give up your slot, but as a rule, there should be somebody from the company that's available to pitch on behalf of the company at the actual pitch event. Okay, let me move on to another question. Do I have to submit a $100,000 budget since the grand prize is well over $50,000? At the time of application, we're actually asking each applicant to submit a budget for $50,000, and then the person that receives the actual grand prize of $100,000, we will work with you after the competition to secure a new revised budget that reflects the full $150,000. So at the time of application, do not worry about trying to fill in a budget for $100,000. This question is for Rich. The safe says 85% discount rate. Is this a typo and should mean 15%?
No, that's correct. The 85% discount rate refers to the fact that the FuzeHub safe will convert at 85% of the price that your later investors are saying. The inverse of that would be to say that there's a 15% discount from the 100% price that the later investors are paying.
Okay, and as I figured, most of the questions would be for Rich. So if I win the $150,000, are there different terms for the safe?
No, the only difference will be the amount of the award and the safe. The terms will be the same either way.
Another question for Rich. As an early stage company, we are concerned about the structure of the safe agreement. Will it have direct and adverse consequences for our previously issued investor notes?
No, it should not. In fact, depending on what your previously issued investor notes say, to the extent they are in any way standard notes, this will not trigger conversion rights under your prior safes or your prior convertible note. Happy to talk to you about it specifically as well. But the SAFE is designed this way to not trigger earlier conversion, as well as have no effect on your later or little effect on your later investments.
Okay, so we have a couple of other questions coming in. I have a mobile app in beta phase. Am I eligible for the competition? So as a general rule, this time around in the competition, software products and software services are not eligible, and those include mobile apps, big data, digital gaming programs, AI projects. However, if you do have a hardware-software combined project, I encourage you to reach out. They're not as straightforward as just saying yes or no to an applicant, so I would welcome people to call and we can have that discussion regarding eligibility. One of the last questions is, can a new food manufacturing company commercializing a new technology apply? That's a pretty broad question. Food manufacturing is certainly an eligible category under the commercialization competition, but I encourage you to contact us directly so that we can learn a little bit more about what technology it is that you're looking to commercialize. So I think that wraps up our Q&A session. If you have any other additional specific questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me here at FuzeHub. My contact information is on the Innovation Fund website. I'd like to thank Rich for taking time out of his busy schedule to be here to help address this topic. I believe it is incredibly helpful as people decide whether or not to submit an application. And I would like to thank all of the webinar attendees for making time to hear about the details of FuzeHub's third commercialization competition. As I mentioned, this webinar will be available on the Innovation Fund website as well as the SurveyMonkey Apply site. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.